The most important thoughts that you think all day are the thoughts that you have about yourself. In a balanced life, your internal self must match your external, meaning it doesn't matter how good you are at holding to your boundaries or shutting down work to be with your family. If your internal dialogue is negative and you're constantly feeling like you're not enough or you're guilty or you're feeling overwhelmed, then you cannot create a life that feels balanced. Your internal dialogue must make you feel amazing and good at what you do and satisfied and like you're doing enough always. Today on the podcast, I'm talking about what it takes to elevate your thoughts that you have about yourself so that you feel amazing no matter your circumstance. I'll be offering 5 powerful thoughts to start cultivating in 2025 that are going to create a foundation of balance for you and offer a few very practical ways to start cultivating those thoughts more intentionally. If you've ever struggled with confidence or self-doubt or self-assurance, then this is a podcast for you. Are you ready? Let's get to it. Hello, working moms. I am really excited to be with you today. It is a blustery day here in the San Francisco Bay Area. The winds are crazy, literally like trees are swaying. I love days like this. There's literally not a cloud in the sky, but the trees are going woo, woo, and I get to like bundle all up and have a warm cup of tea. It's just so lovely. And in this case, you're probably bundling up and you're listening to this podcast episode and taking a few minutes for yourself, which I absolutely love. And I am honored that you listen to this podcast and find it useful to you. And because you're one of those people, I want to make sure that you know about the next cohort of my Ambitious and Balanced group coaching program. The group launches, or it starts, its first day is February 24th, but the doors are opening a week from today. Next week, they're opening up. And I want to make sure that you have gotten your name on the wait list, because if you decide to join, there's a special offer just for you. So I want to make sure you have the information for that. You can find out more about the program, the dates, all the details by going to RebeccaOlsonCoaching.com/ambitious and balanced. Then, of course, click on one of those links that says join the waitlist and add your name to that. So if you don't know much about this program, I do want to give you a little bit of information here before we jump into today's topic, which, by the way, what we're talking about here today is like a huge part of what we do in the Ambitious and Balanced program. So it's like, this is the perfect podcast episode for you to listen in and really understand like the heart of what this program's all about. But here's the gist for you. It's a 3-month program where you are going to learn how to prioritize yourself and your family and still feel like you're crushing it at work. It is a both and type of program. This is the only work-life balance program that I have ever known, that I've ever seen out there, that in such a short period of time, it's going to teach you the tools, the concepts, and help you to actually implement exactly what is necessary for you to live a sustainably balanced life. Now, we focus on 4 very key priorities. These are the foundational priorities of a balanced life. That's focused family time, uninterrupted work time, me time, and off work time. And I'm going to teach you how to stop fitting those things into your schedule and instead make them your top priority and then fit the rest of your life around it. Now, this is a small group coaching program. I only take 10 women into the program, and I do that because I personally want to track your progress and make sure that everyone has the opportunity to get supported and coached by me as they need over the course of the 3 months. So again, you want to get on this wait list. You're going to want to get this special bonus. If you sign up, you can get all of the information on my website. Click on one of those buttons that says, put me on the wait list, and be the first to know about it. Doors open a week from today. I'm so excited about it. Grab a friend, grab a coworker, do this together. Make 2025 the year where you put a balanced life at the top of your list, where you put yourself, where you make sure your family is no longer getting the leftovers, where you let go of guilt, where you let go of stress, and you truly create the balanced life that you have always longed to create. All right. So, as I said, we're going to be talking about a concept today that is really important in the Ambitious and Balanced program. It's like one of the foundational concepts, principles that I teach. We're going to be talking about your self concept. Now, what I mean by your self-concept, if you don't know what that term means, it's kind of a coachy term, so I want to make sure I explain it to you. So, your self-concept is essentially the concepts that you have about yourself or the beliefs that you have about yourself, right? And so, one of the concepts we talk about here on the podcast a lot is how important your thoughts or your beliefs are in creating a balanced life. Other ways we could be saying that are your mindset, your perspective, the words that go through your head, your thoughts, your beliefs, your concepts. Those are essentially all saying the same thing, right? We're essentially just saying the things that go through your head, your thoughts, okay? So your thoughts or your mindset, they play a big role in how you live your life. The way you think impacts the way you feel, and the way you feel is what drives you to prioritize life and goals in the way that you want or potentially the way that you don't want. And so when it comes to the way you're thinking, the most important thoughts that you ever think during the day are the thoughts that you have about yourself. The way you think about yourself dictates the way you feel about yourself. And when you are living a balanced life, the way you feel about yourself is really, really important. You could be doing everything right and prioritizing your health and time for yourself and rest and your family and your off work time and you're not logging back on. You could be doing all of the things that you know that you're supposed to be doing. But if your internal dialogue is crappy, meaning you're beating yourself up all of the time, you're feeling like you're not enough, you're telling yourself that you should be doing other things all of the time, you fear that you're letting people down, you're feeling stressed, you feel like you should be getting more done than you are, and you're not good at what you're doing, you're feeling guilty for your choices. If that's your internal dialogue, you cannot feel balanced. The way you prioritize your time is very important in a balanced life, but even more important than that is what you say to yourself as you're living your life, as you're spending your time. And this is why so often women come to me and say, hey, I have the exact life that I always dreamed about living, right? I've sort of reached all of my goals that I've set out to achieve thus far in life. And yet I don't feel happy. And it's because of the way they're thinking about themselves and their life is not in alignment with the goodness and the amazingness of the life that they've created. So your external life, meaning the choices that you're making about your time and your priorities and your boundaries must match your internal life, meaning the way you're thinking and feeling about yourself and your life and those choices. If your internal and external life don't match, there's no possible way that you're going to experience a life of balance. So I'm going to say it again for you. The most important words that go through your head are the words or the thoughts that you choose to think about yourself and your life. And understanding that your thoughts are a choice is an important part of understanding the impact that your words in your head have. Thoughts don't just happen to you. You cultivate them. You choose them daily. You practice them. So I'm going to say it again for you. The most important thoughts that you think all day, literally the most important words that go through your head are the words or the thoughts that you choose to think about yourself. And understanding that your thoughts are a choice is an important part of understanding the impact that your words have in your head, right? Thoughts don't just happen to you. You can cultivate them. You get to choose your thoughts, the words that go through your head daily, because your thoughts are not truth. They're not your reality. They're just a perspective. This is one of the most freeing things to realize, because when you realize that your thoughts are just your thoughts and you don't have to believe everything your brain thinks, then you free yourself up to think more positive, intentional thoughts about yourself and your life, which is going to make you feel more joyful, more balanced, more satisfied, all the things that we want to feel in a balanced life, right? You always get to decide what you choose to believe about yourself, your work, the amount of work that you do, the decisions you make, the time you spend. You just get to decide. Let me give you an example. If you got 2 things done today and you had hoped that you would get 10, your brain is probably going to offer to you that you didn't get enough done today and that you should have done more. You're going to feel guilty. You might feel stressed out, overwhelmed, because you simply didn't get everything done that you wanted to get done. But those are just your first thoughts. Instead of thinking you didn't get enough done today, you could also think, you know what? I got exactly what I meant to get done today. I'm on top of the things that are most important. I'll figure out how to take care of the rest. There are so many things that you could be thinking other than I'm behind and I didn't get enough done and I'm letting people down. It's a perspective, right? These are just perspectives. They're thoughts, they're mindsets. And when you're constantly thinking, I'm behind, I'm not getting enough done, this makes you feel terrible about yourself. And so those thoughts are not very useful to you. That self concept, those beliefs are not useful to you, right? Versus believing that you are somebody that always gets done exactly what needs to get done and you're totally capable of figuring out the rest. That is powerful. And ultimately, you just get to choose which set of thoughts you're going to believe today. Your circumstances never dictate what you think. Of course, it's much easier to think you're on top of everything and you're so amazing when you get everything done today that you wanted to get done today. But even if you just get one thing done today, you could still believe that you're on top of everything and that you've got it all under control and you're focusing on the best things. Even if those thoughts are harder to believe and harder to think, you could still believe those amazing thoughts, right? Those amazing thoughts that make you feel good about you are available to you at any point, no matter what the circumstances are. Let me give you some tangible examples of why this really matters, right? Someone that has a very elevated self-concept, meaning that they believe really positive, amazing thoughts about themselves more often than not, right? One might call them more confident or more self-assured. You might even want to bring to mind someone that you can think of that you would call confident and self-assured, just so you can understand the difference about how I'm going to explain this to you. Because someone that has an elevated self-concept, that's really confident, they care a lot less about what other people think of them, right? They don't dwell on the fear of disappointing others. They just focus on their own thing. They're more willing to fail, put themselves out there and try new things. And because their belief in themselves is unshakable, meaning it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, or it doesn't matter if they fail at something or not, they still just believe in themselves and they have an amazing belief in themselves no matter what. Because of that, they move faster and they go after bigger things and they make faster decisions and they don't sit in indecision and kind of spin in, what do I do? They feel much more in control of their life, right? They're in the driver's seat of their life because they're making decisions for themselves and their goals and their family, and they just don't care what anybody else thinks, right? Can you see that? Can you see that? A balanced life for this person, this person that has an elevated self-concept, is so much easier because they're not walking on eggshells around everyone, searching for validation and trying to make sure that they get everything right all of the time. Versus someone that has a low self-concept, which means that their self-concept is a bit shaky and it kind of goes in and out based on how other people perceive them, how good they feel about themselves, how much they accomplished, right? If you have a low self-concept, you are constantly worried and stressed about how other people are thinking about you and your choices. So you tend to be a bit of a people pleaser. You don't want people to be disappointed, which means you probably say yes to way too many things. You prioritize other people's goals over yourselves. You play it safe because you don't want to fail. And so life might feel a little rinse and repeat. You're not going after your dreams. And because you don't want to fail, you spend a lot more time researching, preparing. Your brain just thinks that you always need to be putting in more time than you are. Otherwise, you might fail, right? Can you see that? And so that person has a much harder time creating a balanced life because they're saying yes and they're fearing disappointment and their perfectionism is taken over and they're fearing failure and all those things, right? Can you see the difference between these two, right? Somebody that has an elevated self-concept has a much easier time creating a life that feels balanced to them because they can make choices without fear of what other people think and without fear of failure. In my Ambitious and Balanced group coaching program, I help you elevate your self-concept in two ways because of how important this is. I offer you my number one daily practice to help you cultivate really amazing, wonderful thoughts about yourself on a daily basis so that you feel really good. And that practice, once you get really good at it, is going to take you 10 minutes or less every day, and it changes everything that you think about yourself, right? This is where you really learn how to think intentionally about you and your life. And then I offer you essentially a toolkit to help you redirect negative self-talk and your negative self-concept sort of in the moment, right? So whenever you find yourself sort of going down that rabbit trail of not feeling good enough and not doing enough and feeling like you're failing people, you can immediately change course and shift your thinking into something more positive that feels more aligned with the concept that you want to have about yourself. I give you all the tools because the most important thoughts that you think all day long are the ones that actually create the most balance for you, are the thoughts that you have about yourself. Your thinking is so important when it comes to creating a life that feels balanced because your internal and your external need to be aligned. So, I want to take the rest of our time in this episode to offer you 5 powerful, elevated thoughts that you can start cultivating in 2025 that would make all the difference for you in creating a balanced life. And I want to offer you a few ways on how you can practice them as well. Okay. So here we go. Here's the first one. I already have everything I need. Oh my gosh, I love this self-concept because so often as high achieving women, we think that we are missing something. We feel like we need something. We feel like other people have something figured out and they're faster or better and in some way more amazing than we are, and that we are missing some piece of information that we don't have, right? Versus believing I have everything I need right here to have the best life, to have the life I've always dreamed about living. I don't need to learn something. I'm not missing anything. It's all within me, right? Such a powerful belief to believe that. I already have everything I need. That's self-concept number 1. The second belief that I want you to cultivate in 2025 that's going to help you feel amazing about yourself and really unlock work-life balance for you is this: I don't settle. Now, I love this thought because it reminds me of how determined and how gritty I am and how willing I am to go after much bigger goals because I am someone that doesn't settle. That self-concept is going to remind you that you haven't settled in the past and you're not going to do it in the future. So the challenges that you are facing today that are getting in the way of you hitting your goals or feeling balanced, whatever that is, you know you're going to overcome them because you are somebody that doesn't settle. Okay? The third self-concept that's going to help you feel amazing about yourself is this: I'm willing to feel any feeling. I'm willing to feel any feeling. Wow. What a powerful thought that is. If you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you've heard me say something like this before. The only thing that ever gets in the way of you sticking to your priorities and holding to your boundaries is a feeling you're unwilling to feel, right? And it's not even the feeling, it's the potential of feeling that feeling, right? It's the potential of you feeling failure if you closed your computer and just were off for the rest of the night to focus on your family. It's the potential feeling of guilt that you might feel if you prioritize a workout on the weekend instead of spending quality time with your kiddo, right? It's a potential feeling of letting someone down if you decide to turn down a meeting request because it's just not one of your priorities. Right? In a balanced life, you have to be willing to feel all of your feelings in order to go after your goals and stick to your priorities. Right? Now, my goal for you in the Ambitious and Balanced program is to help those feelings come up less. It's to offer the reasoning and the logic and the perspective that's really going to help your brain not experience failure and inadequacy and guilt and overwhelm so much. But what's amazing about working with me is I'm going to help you through that process so that those feelings not only come up less, but they feel less big, less icky, and you're going to learn how to process those feelings really fast. Now, the fourth concept that I really want to offer to you for 2025 is this: I'm in the middle of creating my dream life. I'm in the middle of creating my dream life. Now, I know for a lot of you, you are in fact in the middle of living that life, like circumstantially, right? Meaning that you have the job and the family and the money and the house, all the things you've always kind of wanted. Literally, you already are living your dream life. And now the next step for you is to actually allow yourself to feel happy and enjoy the life that you're living, right? The life that you've created. Because it doesn't matter if you have everything that you've ever wanted. If you don't feel happy, what's the point? So you're in the middle of creating your dream life, whether that is you getting into a different job or a different situation that you want to be in that's gonna progress you forward towards goals, or it's just you working on being more joyful and happy in the life that you've already created. Either way, you're in the middle of it, right? You're not coming from zero. You're not starting at failure. Like if this was a scale between 1 and 10, you're like at a 5 or a 6. right? Doesn't that feel so much better than thinking you're starting from zero, that you don't know how to create that dream life, that you're not sure how to create balance? No, you're right in the middle. You know, some things are working for you. All of that's great. You're just working to get better at it, right? You're in the middle of creating your dream life. I love that. Okay, so the last self concept that I want to offer to you, and I say this a lot in the podcast, so you might even know what I'm about to say because it's literally the backbone of creating a life that feels balanced. It's this: I am enough. You are enough. You don't have to do anything more to prove yourself. You don't have to achieve anything more to prove yourself. You don't need anyone to validate you. You were born enough, and it doesn't matter what you do from here on out in your life. There is nothing that will ever change that. That's why this belief is so powerful. It gets you out of hustle. It gets you out of that energy that always feels like you need to prove yourself to other people. No, you have already proven yourself. You are already worthy. You are already amazing. I have everything I need. I don't settle. I'm willing to feel any feeling. I'm in the middle of creating my dream life, and I am enough. So at this point, you're like on board probably with these beliefs. You want to believe these things about yourself. You understand how important it is your thoughts are in creating a life that you want to live and that balance. But how do you actually elevate yourself and your beliefs to this level, right? How do you actually believe these things, essentially? So here's what I want to offer to you in terms of how to do that, right? This is not going to feel sexy in any way, shape, or form, but it's absolutely the way that you elevate your self-concept and you start believing these things. Are you ready? It's very simple. You practice. If you have a shaky self-concept right now, it's because you are already practicing beliefs about yourself, but those beliefs are not making you feel good. They're bringing you down, right? You're practicing thinking all of the time that you're behind, that you're not good enough, that you need to prove yourself, that you're disappointing others, that you should be doing more. You're literally practicing those thoughts every single day, and it's making you feel terrible about yourself, and it's creating the people-pleasing and the perfectionist cycles, right? You already practice thoughts, right? What I want from you is to start intentionally practicing thoughts that you want to believe about yourself. These 5 thoughts, or pick other thoughts that make you feel really good. The way to get yourself to believe these thoughts is to have your brain offer them to you more frequently. And you do that by practicing them every single day. Your brain is always going to offer to you the most practiced thought. That's going to be your first thought, the one that you practice the most often, right? And we want your most practiced thoughts to be the thoughts that make you feel amazing about yourself, that make you feel proud, that make you feel satisfied, that bring joy, right? So you could do this in so many ways. You could write out these thoughts every day. You can listen to an affirmations app that has these kinds of thoughts built into it. You can journal about how you already are amazing and how you already believe certain aspects of each of these thoughts. When you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed or guilty, you stop and you start reminding yourself, reciting, writing down these thoughts, practicing them literally over and over and over. At first, it's going to feel hard, but the more you do it with more practice, just like with anything, it's going to get easier and easier. And now here's the last thing I want to offer to you. Doing it in a group of women who are all practicing these same thoughts, that are looking to go to the same goals of becoming an ambitious and balanced woman, that is going to make it so much easier for you. I offer you in the program an entire toolkit to help elevate your thoughts so that you start feeling amazing about yourself every single day. So when you join Ambitious and Balanced, it's going to get so much easier. I'm so excited for this program to start in just like 5 weeks. We start. It's so good. So I'm going to say it one more time for the people in the back. The most important thoughts that you think all day are the ones that make the biggest impact in your life, are the thoughts that you have about yourself. When you start elevating your self-concept and believing amazing things about yourself, regardless of your circumstances, that is when your dream life is going to become abundant to you. That's when it's going to get easier for you. I've literally walked hundreds and hundreds of women through processes of feeling confident and amazing about themselves, and I can help you. Ambitious and Balanced starts February 24th, but the doors open in 1 week on January 27th. I only have 10 spots. So you're going to want to get on the wait list because they're going to be the first to hear about the doors opening, and they're going to get a very special bonus when they sign up. So once again, the website to get on that wait list to learn more about the program is www.rebeccaolsoncoaching.com/ambitious and balanced. All right, working moms, until next week, let's get to it. Hey, working moms, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I want to let you know that the next cohort for my group coaching program, Ambitious and Balanced, is starting soon. And if you're looking to make 2025 the year that you not just learn how to create sustainable work-life balance, but you actually put it into practice so that you and your family come first without sacrificing success at your job, then this program is for you. I am only taking 10 women into this cohort, and you're not going to want to miss this opportunity. Your next step to learn more is to go to the website at www.rebeccaolsoncoaching.com/group coaching. This is the year where you feel successful at both work and home. I can't wait for you to start. I'll see you next week. And until then, let's get to it.